Back in the early 1000s, the Roman Catholic Church used to sell something called indulgences. These indulgences were basically bribes that were created by priests that were then sold to the common man so that they could basically buy their way into heaven. So whatever sin that was committed by a person, even if it wasn't a sin, these priests would make up anything, call it a sin, and basically sell these indulgences that were basically a pass that would act as repentance for this common man so that their sins would be forgiven. This was a great trick and a way for these priests to make money for the Roman Catholic Church because they were losing a bunch of money from the years before. And this was a great way to make money because they relied on the common man's ignorance. The reason that all of this worked was that the common man and common woman was illiterate. They could not read or write. And because of this, they couldn't read the Bible, which meant they could not validate anything that these priests were saying. They believed these priests and basically had to shell off all of their hard-earned money from farm work or whatever it was. Quick little history lesson, but there's a point and there's a reason why I'm making this video. So basically we're in a time right now where we face a similar but different problem in comparison to the people of the early 1000s. Back then, because there was a lack of information, people were taken advantage of. Now, there is too much information. We don't know who to trust or who to believe in, but because of that, we're being taken advantage of, and our actions and decisions have to be second-guessed basically every single day. And I'm sure you've probably asked yourself at some time in this last year, in the last few years, what the hell is even going on? Because anyone can publish information, it becomes, who do we listen to? Who do we take advice from? Not even just the internet, the people on TV, politicians, who do we actually take advice from? So to answer this question very, very bluntly, the only people you should take advice from, especially if you're a young person, is people who are on the same life track as you, or people who are on the same life track that you want to be on and are just 1 to 2 steps ahead of you. The second part is way, way more important, so I'm going to say it again. You should only take advice from people who are just a few steps ahead of you. The reason why you want to do this is because people who are just a few steps ahead of you are literally in the dirt. They're in the mud right now in real time with real-time information. As much as you love your parents, for example, the advice that they went through is 30 to 40 years old. It doesn't make sense up to 2024 as of, March 19th. As much as they want to help you and as much as they provide information that could help, most of the stuff for what you want to do, like for example, do you want to live the life that your parents live right now? So the people that you should listen to are people who are on the same life track as you or on the track that you want to be and are just a few steps ahead of you. The reason again why the second part is so important is that yes, sure, online there's gurus and there's people who are on the same life track as you and are living the life that you want to be on, but there is literally no information or nothing that they could tell you that would benefit you right now because they've been in this game for years on end and there's nothing that could help you right now just get from level 0 to level 1. The only people that can do that, or you can even get into contact with, are people who are just a little ahead of you. For example, if you're trying to start a service-based business and you're trying to sign your first client, DMing Iman Gadzhi or emailing Alex Hormozi on how to do this is probably not the best way to go about it. One, because they're not ever going to get back to you, and even if they do, why would they tell you that information? They're so ahead of you and they can monetize that information. If you're trying to sign your first client for your service-based business, is it better to ask Alex Hormozi or Iman Gadzhi, or to literally join a group chat or to join a Discord where there are people signing clients on an everyday basis and ask the guy who just signed his client last week? Which is better? Who do you think will actually give you tangible information that you can implement right now to help you sign your first client? If you want to determine the best career to go through right after you graduate, is it better to ask an alumni from your school who literally graduated last year, or is it better to ask someone who literally graduated 30 years ago? With that being said as well, consuming their content is pretty much useless for the most part. All of the information that they're going to tell you is mostly philosophical and nothing that you can actually implement right now. Think about it. Your favorite artists or musicians, why was their music so good when they first came out or when no one really knew about them and they were underground? All of their music back then seemed to be really, really good, right? What happened? Once they reached a certain phase, their music starts to become commercialized and becomes radio-like. The reason for this is that this music has to become much more applicable to everyone, because that's where the real dollars and money is made, by trying to be as applicable to everyone. Start being productive and prioritizing where your attention and energy goes. Start becoming a little bit smarter and actually realizing where the gold of information is, not the one that's right in front of you and is as apparent. These gurus right now are basically like those priests in the Catholic Church. That's my little rant for today, but hopefully it reduces your stress and anxiety, because I know with all of our phones, with all of our computers, with just the sheer amount of information that is just passing by us on an everyday basis, can become very overwhelming and stressful. You see all of these people doing different things. You see people starting new businesses, people getting married, people taking vacations. You see all of these things going on, and you don't know what to direct your attention and your focus onto. So with that being said, you need to find the correct people, and these are people that are just like you, who are just a few steps ahead of you. And with that being said, the more that I achieve and the more I accomplish, the more I'm going to put it out onto the internet and just help as much people as you can. I'm only literally a year and a half onto this journey, and I'm trying to document everything, and I just think that I'm just a step or two ahead of people who are at rock bottom right now, because I'm very much in a growth phase of my life. But I hope by me documenting and sharing my lessons as I go is helpful. As always, I wish you all the success, because there's plenty enough for all of us. Mwah.